Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are joining us. We are delighted to have you join us for our cross metro with our brothers and sisters in Nigeria. My name is Rubby Golo. I'm the executive director for Accra Metro. And co-hosting with me is my colleague Niyi Sanusi, based in Lagos. Nihi, thanks for being here. As you all know, March is Ghana month, and Ghana got independence from the British rule in 1957, and 6th March is our Independence Day. But throughout the month of March, we dedicated to celebrate as Ghana month. And at Global Chamber, we decided to do this series because there's been this long battle with Nigeria regarding whose jollof is the best. And so that is what we're going to discuss. On top of that, we want to share opportunities because we do have similarities when it comes to Ghana and Nigeria in so many ways, in terms of our African cuisine, in terms of even football. Most of the time we do meet at tournaments, and we have Ghanaians marrying Nigerians, and we have so many things in common. And it's exciting to see all of you. Especially, we have a special guest that is going to help us to distinguish the difference between Ghana Jollof and the Nigerian one as well. And then we'll open it up so that we can just discuss business and share ideas. We'll be interested to know those who have actually visited Ghana or Nigeria before, either for leisure or business, what your experience has been. We'll be interested to know if any of you has actually tried the jollof rice, what your experience is. And for those who are planning to do business in Ghana or Nigeria, we want to know what your project is about, how we can support you. Today is not, we are not approaching it with slides. We want to keep it very conversational. So we'll be opening the floor so people can share their experiences, expertise, and etc. So on that note, Nihi, what do you have to say before we invite our guest chef to kind of explain what jollof rice is all about and how we can end this war today?
Oh, well, the only way we can end the war today is if you concede that Nigerian jollof is better than Ghana
No way.
jollof. So once that is done, then the meeting is over, and I'll be happy to call it today. All the same, it's good to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. As I've told you before, I have Ghanaian blood in me. It might be on the minority side, but definitely there's some bit of Ghana in me. So I'm happy to be here, and finally we'll finish the war today, and the rest of Africa will be happy to celebrate with Nigeria. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I see Kobibrown, who has kindly agreed to speak on the topic about jollof rice. What are the differences? And Kobi, are you there? It would be great if some
Hello.
of you. Oh, okay. Hi, Kobi.
Hello,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Carry on.
Great. Okay, so my name is Kobibrown. I'm a pastry chef, basically, but I've gone through the ranks of cooking, the kitchen for many years. I have about 10 years experience in working in the kitchen. And I can definitely say that I've had to cook, tasted, and eaten a lot of jollofs. So get to share my ideas and my knowledge with you guys regarding jollof, its preparation, its origin, and definitely to end this battle between Ghana and Nigeria, probably for good. So yeah, so how many of you have had jollof before, apart from the Nigerians and the Ghanaians? And what's your take on it? What do you think about it?
You
Hello?
please feel free to unmute and maybe turn on your videos. We want to connect with you guys. It would be nice to see your lovely faces.
Hello, everyone. This is Rabia Omar Hassan. I'm the co-founder director for Roche Development and the executive director for Global Chambers for Pakistan. I'm a solicitor. I represent a UK-based law firm for Pakistan and Dubai. I'm also looking at the Worldwide Independent Lawyers League for Pakistan. Right now, I'm in Kenya exploring opportunities here on the sustainable development side. I work as a private equity and a corporate finance specialist as well. So lovely meeting you all, people from Ghana, Nigeria. Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. Thank you.
Have you tried both jollofs before?
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Have you tried either Ghana or Nigerian jollof before?
I haven't traveled to Ghana or Nigeria, but I would love to meet the government in Ghana and the government in Nigeria because I'm working on public-private partnership projects and I can help them raise investments for their infrastructure projects.
Oh, that's good to know. And I see you've put your details in the chat. So I encourage all of you to put your details in the chat so that people can connect with you now or after the event.
That would be great. I've sent my profile on the messages. You can check me on LinkedIn as well. And
Okay.
I would love to collaborate. Thank you.
Okay. So people who are looking for funding for their project,
Yes,
you have
definitely.
okay.
Agriculture-based carbon credit projects, sustainable development projects. I represent like a sustainable development company in Egypt as a head for Southeast Asia as well. So we're
Okay.
working a lot on sustainable development and the funding and like climate funding and etc. So we can work with the Ghana people and with the Nigeria people for that.
That's great. I saw a reaction from what's the name? Dr. Manju. Are you there? Would you like to speak? No? Okay, I hand it back to Kobe then. Kobe, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
No, I think Kobe has dropped
I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be here in this meeting. I'm a Ugandan by origin. I have had business interests in Nigeria, and currently I've just set up London Business School, London Academy Business School, which has got a big campus in Abuja. And I am a big fan of jollof rice and Ghanaian cocoa and coffee and everything else. And I just love, and I'm just like my colleague Rabia. I'm in the business
Hello, Dr.
of. Yes, Rabia is a phenomenal lady entrepreneur, and I work with her.
Thank you, sir.
And we collaborate, we communicate, and we coordinate all our activities. And I'm especially promoting Uganda at the moment because I'm a Ugandan born, and it's ready for investment in infrastructure, in agriculture, in oil and gas production, in tourism, in education, in healthcare. Everything is possible. And I'm based in the UK, in Bradford, which is now currently the UK City of Culture. Again, Bradford is ripe for economic regeneration. We have plenty of opportunity here in terms of art, media, infrastructure, business, food production, hospitality, tourism. I can go on. Please stop me. Otherwise, I'll take or hijack the whole meeting.
So much potential,
Thank you for your contribution.
Projects. 500 megawatt plus for solar. We've got one of the largest like constructors from Turkey who's looking to come into EPCF, which is EPC and F is for financing. So if you have any projects,
thank you.
Just to interrupt
Thank you
here,
very
I want to just
Hello,
respect
Doug, how are you? Hello.
Rabia.
Thank you all.
How are you?
Thank you, Doug.
Rabia,
Hello,
are
Doug.
you there?
Yes, I'm there, Doug.
Okay. I just want to respect the meeting and respect Ruby. You know, she's conducting a conversation, and there will be time to talk about trade opportunities. And so just let's go through the process and respect what she's doing with the rest of the team. Does that work out okay for you?
Yes, sir, absolutely. So sorry.
No worries. We're looking forward to hearing more about the opportunities as we get into the meeting. Ruby, is there anything else that you need at this point? I think you're turning it over.
I think we have somebody from the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. I appreciate them showing up for this event. Thank you very much, Veronica, for being here. We have Mr. Emmanuel Frimpong from the Ghana Tourist Authority as well. If you want to take the floor and share your thoughts on the topic. Thank you.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are located at this point in time. So as already mentioned, my name is Emmanuel Frimpong, but I am with the Africa Tourism Research Network as a president and also a facilitator at the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. And it's exciting to be here because we've had this battle of jollof rice between Nigeria and Ghana for quite some time. I think the idea is to promote the two countries and beyond that, promote tourism investment in Africa. And I'm excited to also learn from other people who are here and see how we can promote investment between our individual countries. So I'm happy to join you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is so refreshing. Niyi, would you want to also call on some of your colleagues and members from your side to say some few words as well?
I can't see my people here yet, but if you are there, please just indicate and go ahead. But as it is, I can't. I don't see anyone I recognize.
Can't see anybody. Okay.
Ruby, I have
anybody from
to say.
Nigeria?
Ruby.
Oh, hi, Eric.
How are you?
Great to see you. I'm good.
I want to cause, as you know, always I want to cause controversy. Since I have been to Nigeria 30 times and Ghana 30 times, it would be bad if I said the best jollof rice is from Liberia, right? I'm just kidding. I would say the best jollof rice is where the person serving it to you is sitting. That's the safest answer always.
I like that. I like that. So the joy of Global Chamber is we have so many people joining us from different parts of the world. It would really be nice if some of you can edit your name and just put your location so we can appreciate where you are joining us from. Again, feel free to put your details in the chat. If you don't get anything out of this at all, please connect with somebody, one or two people, and follow up. You never know, there could be a business result out of that. So now we want to open up to the audience. I mean, tell us what your experience has been doing business in Ghana, whether you visited before, whether you're planning to come to do any project. Let us hear from you and let's see how we can support your journey to either Ghana or Nigeria. So the floor is open. Anyone want to volunteer and take the floor? Otherwise, I'll call out names.
I want to go first.
Go ahead, Abdullah. Good to have you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And one thing that I just wanted to share that has just happened that on Monday, yesterday, that I happened to just like stumble on an article from Ghana. It's a gentleman that is really doing a fantastic work. A gentleman from Ghana who lived in the US, Wall Street guy that went back to Ghana growing rice, Nana's rice. So he's doing a fantastic job. I read his article yesterday, one of the interview with someone from London, and so he's doing a fantastic job. So, lots of jollof rice to make with the rice that he's producing in Ghana. So I think that he should be a role model, and I wish that I could get in contact with him because I'm also helping people in the northern part of Senegal grow rice. I think that he'll be someone to really, and just like really share his knowledge, his experience into many countries in Africa. He's doing a wonderful job, wonderful job. So lots of jollof rice to be made then. Thank you.
That's nice to hear. But you didn't tell us what you are into. I know you are originally from Senegal, but in Virginia. So maybe you want to tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yes, Abdullah, originally from Senegal, been in the US for 25 years, managing the company called World Innova LLC. World Innova LLC is provides like advisory services. He's also work on a different project in different sectors. It really depends on the need. So had been taking mostly U.S. Companies, U.S. investors to Africa, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia. So those are my focus countries. So just welcome to anyone who would like to visit, like to invest, and we'll just really work with my network on the ground to really make the connection. Thank you.
Great. Who wants to go next?
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Vonnie Kaldum with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and I'm here with my colleague, Christabel. So I would want to commend you for this exciting initiative. We look forward to have an amazing event. And I don't know if I'm asking quick question. Wanted to know when the events will be executed or which country. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Nigeria before and I haven't tasted Nigeria jollof, but I can still testify that Ghana jollof is the best. Yeah, so thank you so much for all of you coming on board. And we are here as a Ghana Investment Promotion Center to assess if anything concerning trade or investment will be available. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming along. We are glad to have you here. So for the audience, those of you who are looking to expand into Ghana or invest in Ghana, GIPC is a is a government agency responsible for helping foreign companies to register their business in Ghana. So feel free to connect with Veronica and her colleague. And if you need more information, I'll be happy to provide that. Thank you so much. Can we have next? Otherwise, I'll call somebody out. I see Mona Contractor in the room. Mona is into instant food industry. Mona, if you want to share your industry, what you do, because in Ghana and in Nigeria, we are looking to add value to our local dishes, so that not just for local consumption, but to send it out to the world so they can appreciate our cuisines. So if you want to take the floor, please.
Thank you so much, Ruby, and it's such a pleasure connecting after such a long time. I am Mona and I'm from Mumbai, India. And my very own business is actually tourism, where I cater to foreign traffic coming into India and the neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. And of course, the jollof rice. I remember having a session with Ruby. We were comparing it with our pulao, or I cannot say biryani. Let's call it a pulao because jollof rice is somewhere in between pulao and biryani. So I remember that session that we had, Ruby, and it was such a pleasure. And yes, I'm into food industry as well, but that is mainly taken care of by my cousins in Surat, which is about 250 kilometers from north of Bombay. So yes, we also sell a lot of Indian curries and pulao and things like that, So you can just take a look at the website for that. But yes, I mean, I was just surfing like which is the restaurant in Bombay that serves African food. So there is one restaurant called Moto Moto which has jollof rice, and they serve some fried chicken along with it. So you guys, if you're missing your cuisine, you can come to Bombay and I'll take you for your jollof rice. But you know what? Trust me, we have very good biryanis. We've got very pulao and curries and things like that. So yeah, I will never stop talking about Indian cuisine. So that's it from me, Ruby. Let me know if you have any questions or you want to ask me more. I'll make it short because there are quite a lot of people who would love to talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who do we have next? Who would like to come on and share what they are doing, who they are, what they are interested in doing in Ghana or Nigeria, what support you need?
Ruby, I would love to have some tourists from Ghana to show them around the country. I'm sure they'll love it because India has a lot of yoga and food, and of course, a lot of business opportunities as well. So I would love to have people from African subcontinent to come to India and take a
Okay.
look around.
Yeah, sure. Let's discuss and see what we can plan.
Yep.
Exciting. Okay, I think I will have to start calling people now. Emilia, you are here. Emilia is with the Lancaster Hotel, very close to the airport in Accra. Emilia, would you like to add your voice to the conversation? Emilia, can you hear me? Okay.
Hello.
I think, yes.
Yes, I think I'll allow Fred to do a bit of talking.
Okay, I think we have Fred back. So Fred, please take the floor back.
Yes.
Okay, I'm right here. Hi, everyone.
Great.
Okay, so my name is Fred Brown, but most people call me Kobibrown. I'm a pastry chef profession and an entrepreneur. I have a pastry academy here in Ghana where I'm training people on how to have skills to build their own businesses and also consult for hotels as well, food management and food cost management because there is like very high cost when it comes to food product, like hospitality business in Ghana. So basically, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I was invited to talk on the topic on the jollof, and to give like a bit of history of jollof, how it came about, and where all the ball began between Ghana and Nigeria, basically. And I would like to give a big thanks to Madam Ruby for inviting me to this platform. And it's nice to have people who are already doing things I really like to do. Jollof, it's originally from Senegal. There was a tribe in Senegal in the late 70s that were called the Wolof people. Wolof, W-O-L-O-F, Wolof, were a very strong empire back then. Gambia, Senegal, and they were really, really strong places. But then there was a war, and which separated the Gambians from the and everything. So basically, in those times, their main staple was just sorghum and millet. They didn't have anything for rice. But then the French having them to plant peanuts for oil. exportation, and because of that, they couldn't grow their sorghum and millet and maize anymore. So to substitute that, they had traders import Asian rice, millet and maize, so that they can plant more peanuts, basically. So in the heat of that, there was a chef wanted to cook their traditional dish, which is the jollof that we know now. But then there was no, only thing that was available was the broken rice. So she, okay, in replace of using the sorghum or millet, why don't I use the broken rice? And then that is how come the whole recipe came about. But most people couldn't pronounce the Wolof. So instead of, we started calling it Jollof. Jollof is from the Wolof, and it's basically has a tomato base, tomato, pepper, onion, ginger, garlic base, and you make a stew, and then you add your rice and any protein of your choice, and then you boil it together until it becomes a one-pot dish. Basically, the rice soaks up the whole chew, the water from the stew you've made, and then voila, you have a jollof. And there has been a lot of battle between Ghana and Nigeria, who has the best jollof. And I'm going to put in the differences in terms of how it's been made and also the similarities. So I'll start Nigerian jollof. Basically has the same, every jollof has a stew base, basically made from tomato, onion, pepper, and garlic. And because of trade and export and exchange of culture, now there's addition of curry from India. We have other spices from all over the world, which are now being infused into the jollof. So originally, I don't think any country really owns the jollof recipe. It's basically about, it's like a recipe that has a different culture all infused into it, basically. So like a one country dish. It has like bits and pieces from all over the world. Yeah, so in Nigeria, I think what really set their jollof apart from Ghanaian jollof is basically their rice. The Nigerians have the local rice, which is quite thick and has like a very hard shell. So before you cook it, you need to actually parboil it a bit to soften it before you use to make your jollof rice. So they make the jollof rice by having to make tomato-based stew, very intense tomato-based stew with curry powder, bay leaf, and they use either butter or peanut oil as their oil base for making the jollof rice. As with Ghana, we don't use butter or peanut oil. We just use a vegetable oil of any of your choice, whether soya bean based, palm kernel based oil for our jollof rice. So basically, that's one of the differences. Nigerians use butter or peanut, Ghanaians use vegetable based oil for their jollof rice. Nigerians use their local rice, Ghanaians use either basmati or long grain rice for jollof rice. Now, in Nigeria, they really make sure they cook the stew so much that it becomes quite dry and very intense in flavor before they add their parboiled rice and water to make their dish. Whilst in Ghana, we make a very light, subtle like stew, and we pour in our rice, which don't need to parboil for making your jollof rice. Now, with cooking, you can have 10 people with the same amount of ingredients, the same quantity, the same time, the same everything, yet there will still be differences. Like, no, there will still going to be like differences between the dishes that is being prepared. Because I believe to every individual there is a unique touch that we all bring to the table in terms of cooking. So based on that, when it comes to cooking of jollof, both Nigeria and Ghanaians have their touch to this particular dish. I have had Nigerian dish jollof myself. My mom had Nigerian friends, so I've had to be amidst them growing up. I've had their jollof. I've had my mom Ghanaian jollof. I've had to have Ghanaian jollof from siblings and family, and becoming a chef also. I've had the opportunity to have other chefs cook Ghanaian jollof for me, and even myself cook Ghanaian jollof for myself. And with that, I think it's more about preference. It's more about preference, whether you prefer to have a local rice based jollof rice, or you prefer to have a basmati or perfumed rice or long grain rice jollof rice, and also where you find and who is making what. But all being the same, being a chef and having to have judged cooking, honestly, I still prefer my Ghanaian rice anytime, any day.
Thank you, Fred, for sharing your insights into the topic. Very refreshing. In fact, I've learned a lot from what you've just said. So with the hospitality industry, for instance, where do you see the opportunities so that some of the audience on here can appreciate what Ghana got to offer when it comes to food and drink? If you want to share some more light on that, that would be great.
Okay, great. So when it comes to the hospitality industry in Ghana, I think it's growing very fast. And I've had the privilege to have work in a couple of them, like in the hotel, for example. And people are gearing towards having to have places where they can have relaxation, have business meetings, have business opportunities. And in Ghana, I believe that there are a lot of places that haven't been exploited yet in the hospitality industry. And the Ghana government is looking forward to boosting that, like boosting the hospitality industry actually, because the more people patronize tourism in Ghana, I believe the more the hospitality industry is going to grow. So for example, when it comes to, let's say, in the field of expertise in knowledge for how to handle people, how to go about hospitality industry, there are not much facilities here to train people to know how to do things properly. It becomes very, very, very hard for people to get that skills and knowledge. That's why even me as a chef, I decided to go into training people, because I believe that the people here are not up to like international standard yet when it comes to the hospitality industry, and the gap is very huge. So to educate more people, we're trying to give them the opportunities where to put them on the international platform, and enable them expertise and knowledge to match up with the rest of the world. Here in Ghana, there are a lot of places that are developed in terms of tourism, because one, there is not much noise about them. Very, very amazing, beautiful places. I like to go for a lot of hiking myself. I like to explore. For example, in Ghana, the north is amazing. We have like a part in the north called the Red Clay Enclave, where there's like art made from old airplanes and a beautiful scenery. I didn't even go there because of the lack of education going on places. For example, there's a place in Akosombo they have the Ice Mountain, Accra Togo ranges, where there are very beautiful sceneries and places where you can actually go, and like this river and lake where people haven't actually exploited yet. In those places, you can actually have like boat houses where people can actually come and rent and be on the lake for like a day or two, or a week to have like some relaxation. But it's not being exploited because people haven't had to understand what it means to promote such stuff. So I believe that Ghana is very big and the business opportunity is very huge. It's just about you looking forward to which part you really want to tackle from or where you really want to start from.
You. So in terms of your work, where do you usually source your raw material or equipment?
Okay, so with me, I like to source my ingredients from locally purchase. So, for example, I use chocolate a lot. My chocolate is locally. I don't buy chocolate from anywhere else because I want to promote the Ghanaian business and agriculture, sustainable development programs here that we are trying to get going. So I use Ghanaian-made chocolate. With equipment, we don't have the factories here that can produce those equipment for us. So mostly it's either from Europe or from China. That's where I source most of like my equipment from. Yeah, basically, other than that, everything else, I try as much as possible to use Ghanaian produced or farmed goods to make my products, basically.
Brilliant. Okay, Niyi, would you want to say something from your end?
Yeah, of course. Ghana, I worked in Ghana for a few weeks in 2019, 2020. That was just before the COVID lockdowns came into place in 2020. In fact, that week I was in Accra for some work. In 2019, we had a group of investment enthusiasts come from Canada, China, and one other country into Ghana in 2019. We were there twice. And it's so interesting that the office I used was at the Ghana Accra World Trade Center, not too far from the GIPC office. And I think that after the AFCFT office is nearby now. So I had the opportunity to taste Ghanaian jollof rice. And despite what Fred has said, and very interesting narrative, and Veronica too, I have tasted rice in Accra, and I have tasted extensively rice in Nigeria. And as far as this discussion on this platform is concerned, nobody has had the experience, at least no one has disclosed that they have had the experience that I've had in tasting rice in both countries. So you should reserve, I should have the reserved right to determine which rice is best. So for now, clearly, without much debate, Nigerian jollof rice is still the champion for the entire globe. Yes, we recognize the Senegalese owning the name, but that's history, that's archaeology now. We can leave that there. But beyond that, the fact that Ghana is a good place to visit, it's a good place to work at. And I really had a good time when I did my work there. As I said, we came with quite a number of people at that time. And unfortunately, it was just basically political challenges that could not let us do what we needed to do. And of course, as I said, the COVID lockdowns did not help matters. But ultimately, the tourism, I visited at least one or two Ghanaian beaches. I can't remember the names now, but honestly, I think that as far as beaches go, they are some of the best that I've been to. Apart from that, though, the jollof, the undisputable champion is clear. Thank you very much.
So for those who are interested in the Nigerian market, what would you say are some of the opportunities there?
Well, Nigeria is a huge market. And so the diversity of Nigeria is probably the key, one of the key attributes of the market. So what you have going for somebody in the South, what we call the South here, might not be the same as somebody who's in the Northeast. So the diversity will be very clear. But when you look at a place like Lagos, which is very cosmopolitan, food, eateries, confectionaries, and things like that will still be very viable. When it comes to agriculture, you look at places in the northwest, the northeast, the entire north is very, to a large extent, is very viable for that. Some parts of the south, many parts of the south actually, are very ideal for agriculture. And then, of course, because of the difference in climates, you also have to look at what types of materials you have in mind for various for planting and cultivation, as it were. So, but agriculture, food and agriculture are always ideal in Nigeria. We have an energy challenge at the moment, which I'm sure our Ghanaian brothers and sisters are very well aware of. We try to find, if we can't find investors and prospective solutions for those, then it's something that Nigeria will always look out for. There's a whole gamut of things that Nigeria can offer. The population helps, and because the population is relatively well educated, this also helps anyone who's coming to invest. So there's a lot to talk about. I'll leave it here for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Niyi. Anyone want to challenge? Emilia, are you there? Would you want to come on the floor?
Yes, I wasn't happy.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes, so my name is Emilia. I work with Lancaster Hotel Accra, formerly Golden Tulip, and I'm head of human resources. I've also had opportunity to work with several hotels in Ghana, and so have over 25 years experience, mainly in the hospitality industry. And I'm in terms of food in Ghana, food is becoming one of the attractions, which is attracting a lot of foreigners to Ghana. There's a lot of innovations. People are coming up with a lot of innovation to the Ghanaian cuisine, which is quite amazing, even though we still have a lot to do, because our food, we have very good food, a lot of variety. Ghanaians can pick anything and it become a very good food to look at. One very classical example is a common egg and pepper. And that is something that you wouldn't expect anybody to eat, but trust me, when you try it, anybody who comes to try that, it sounds ridiculous, but it's a very nice dish for anybody to try. Or I don't know whether we should classify it as dessert. I don't know, but it makes so much noise. The industry is growing very fast. A lot of new additions to the products in terms of housing, Airbnb, a lot of things are coming up, apartments and all that. So this is also attracting a lot of foreigners into the country. Food, as I said earlier, is becoming an attraction. And so we need to look at that space and develop it and put some touches on it to make it, to attract a lot more people into the country, as is already doing. There's a lot of potential if we put a lot of investment on how to brand our food properly and put some signature things out there. In terms of the jollof battle, I don't think we're going to end this conversation. I have been to Nigeria once. I tried the jollof and Fred was just giving away the recipe for free. I didn't want him to do that, but he gave it out. So having said that, Ruby, I've suggested that you have a response. You can give us a competition to battle it out and invite a few people to battle it out so that we'll settle the score once and for all. Because Ghanaian jollof, over the years, have proven to be the best.
I've heard you, Emilia.
And those who taste it too. So
sure. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Mr. Frimpong, your hand is up.
Just to make a little contribution to the debate and also escalate it to how we can actually monetize all these advantages that West Africa had. And I was happy to watch my brother's Niyi's body language. You could clearly see that he had conceded that Ghana Jollof is better than Nigeria Jollof. That is why he said, at least for the purposes of this platform and for this discussion, Nigeria Jollof is better than Ghana. He knows very well. He knows. So let's let. But I think we have to look at beyond the debate between Ghana Jollof and Nigeria Jollof, and how do we make our food as West African region, because we have great food that people are even beginning to take what we have here change it a little bit, and then promote it as gastronomy and make money. They are making money in other countries. Chinese are even now doing our food. When you go to other countries, they are doing West Africa food. And we are sitting here and crying and sitting here and not knowing what to do with it. Emilia was talking about egg and pepper, which is very simple. You wouldn't even think of. Now, there is a food that we call gobe, which when I came to Nigeria, I saw a similar one. It's just a normal gari and beans. Very nutritious food. There's wache, which is also just rice with some leaves and beans. We have so many food items that we can actually leverage on and make it as a big gastronomy where we can actually have food festival along West Africa sub-region where we can have it. Maybe this year we have it in Ghana. The following year we go to Nigeria, we go to Benin, we go to Senegal, and look at how best we can promote it and invite others to come and enjoy what we have here as West African sub-region and even beyond. So I think this engagement is extremely important. How do we take it beyond just the debate? Because as for the debate, I remember there was a Jollof competition some years back at the Legon Botanical Gardens. Actually, Gambia won, Senegal was second, Nigeria was third, and Ghana was fourth. And Nigeria was happy, even though they were third, they were just happy because they had beaten Ghana. That was enough for them. So as for the debate, will continue. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frimpong. Eric, you have your hand up.
I do. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I'll tell, someone asked the question, how we can monetize West African foods. And I will tell you a funny story. Here in the United States, one of the most popular restaurants that is not fine dining, but is not fast food, is called Nando's. Now, the funny thing, if you go to South Africa and many places in Africa, Nando's is a low market, like KFC, you just go because you're rushing to a meeting, you got to feed the kids quickly. But when I helped Nando's with their US expansion, I told them they should use silverware, wood grain, have a proper restaurant. People take your order like a restaurant. And so we were able to introduce Nando's and Peri Peri up market for the US dining experience. So that's been wildly successful. What I would offer, if you want to monetize West African food, stop. The first thing you have to stop just doing African restaurants in black neighborhoods, in strip malls where it doesn't look appetizing. You want to have it in shopping malls and maybe not even the food court, but actually a standalone store. You don't want to just market it as African food. So, for example, one of the more successful restaurants in the United States is Lebanese Taverna, and it's a proper restaurant. People they go to Lebanese Taverna. They know it's Lebanese food or Mediterranean food. There's another restaurant called Roti, another one called Meze. In each of these cases, it doesn't say Moroccan or Algerian, but it says so you could market different kinds of jollof rice, different kinds of chicken, different kinds of beef, and all of those things. But you should, if you want to really make money and create a return on your investment, and the ingredients can be supplied from Africa, which brings me to the next thing. I helped write the AGOA legislation. I spent the last 23 years helping African exporters find buyers here in the United States. And then I'm a partner in a firm. We just completed a $5 billion financing for a hydro project in Mozambique and a $295 million financing for a power project in Sierra Leone, and then a housing project in Zambia for about 100 million. Anyway, going back to since we're talking about African food, a significant returns on investment could be if African food producers produce for the middle class market in the US for higher consumers in places where are more frequently trafficked, as opposed to just small black neighborhoods. That's one way to monetize phenomenal cuisine and really capture the US market, similar to what I did with Nando's. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eric. Ricardo, you have your, nice to see you here. Please.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'm located in San Diego, California, and I'm here. I have a freight forwarding company, and it's nice to hear you guys talking about the foods and export the food. I, in the past, shipped vehicles and machinery, big machinery for the industry from the United States to Ghana and Nigeria and also Angola. And now with my company, I want to back on the track on that. And also listen to you guys. In some way, I can assist companies to bring their products to here to United States and helping with the import of records as well too, principally with this new administration, right? Can be not only California, all over the country as well too. So I'm Brazilian, Argentinian, so about African food, I know from my Brazilian side. We have very similar ingredients, like the piri-piri in Brazil we call malagueta, but I just knew that, talk with some South African friends, and more than happy to help you all. And I'm in contact with Niyi, and Sarita Jackson is who is introducing me to the chamber. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to hear from you. If you can share your contact details in the chat so people can connect with you. Dr. Sarita, thank you so much for inviting Ricardo to join us. Would you want to say some few words?
Sure, absolutely. Yes. So yeah, thank you, Ricardo. Thank you so much, Ruby and Niyi, for this very interesting discussion, and especially with regard to the opportunities from different sectors and different industries. So I'm Dr. Sarita Jackson. I am the chair of the Global Chamber Advisory Board here in Los Angeles. And the work that I do is, Eric, you mentioned AGOA, so my ears perked up. And then I will talk about the Jollof and the restaurants, because I do have my experience there to kind of piggyback off of what Eric was saying. But what the work that I do is with international trade advising companies that are looking to export their products to the United States or from the United States to other countries. And a part of that is between the United States and the African continent. Some of the work that I do is from the research side, really, so that companies understand why they are selecting a particular country and why they are following certain strategies to compete in those markets. And so with the policy, the African Growth and Opportunities Act, or AGOA, which facilitates trade between the United States and eligible sub-Saharan African countries and for the eligible products. That's a lot of the work that I do when working with companies. This year is going to be a very interesting year, since AGOA is up for reauthorization in September of this year. So we will just wait and see what happens with that, with many of the changes that are going on with regard to US policy. With regard to jollof rice, I will say my experience, and I can't say one way or the other, so I'm going to remain neutral. However, when I lived and worked in Washington, DC, you have, restaurants representing different African countries. And there was one restaurant in particular that I really loved that was based in Adams Morgan, which is a neighborhood where, a lot of people go. It's a very exciting neighborhood in the northwest part of Washington, DC. And there was a restaurant focused on West African cuisine. And so there, I really enjoyed a lot of the jollof rice as well as other types of food. So, and I will just remain neutral because I can't really say, but, knowing the history behind the restaurant, it just basically says it's, how do I say, its origin or its influence mainly from Ghana, but it also has where they mix, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, and Liberia. Yes, that is it. Okay, I knew Eric was going to know this one. Bocom Cafe. So just, you can look at the name. So that was a place that I visited frequently. When it comes to the West African cuisine. And so just exactly what Eric was saying is to kind of, to bring that type of cuisine to a neighborhood where you have people all over the place that are coming to visit. And so that's my 2 cents, but thank you so much. I really enjoy the conversation. And I look forward to continuing to work with Ruby and Niyi, because we've been collaborating on a number of projects, research projects, and really trying to help companies that are looking to come to the US and vice versa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarita. We have a few minutes to go, but I want to give the floor to Lindsay. She's been doing an amazing work, adding value to some of the agricultural produce in Ghana, such as cocoa powder, etc. Lindsay, would you want to introduce yourself and what you're doing and the markets you are looking to expand into? Lindsay, are you there? Oh, no? I think she's not available to speak. Anyone? Okay,
I'm here, please.
there you are. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Lindsay, and I'm the founder of Label Farms. So what we basically do, we are a healthy tea processing company that produces tea farmed here. We produce, like, we have the farms where we grow the raw materials and we process them into tea bags. Our products are the natural date powder, which serves as a healthy sweetener in place of sugar and honey. We have the lemongrass tea. We have the lemongrass and mint tea. We have the lemongrass. We have the peppermint tea. We also have the spearmint tea, and we introduced the spearmint oil later to help ladies battling with unwanted facial hair. We also have the natural cocoa powder, that's the unsweetened ones too. Yes, so we are looking at collaborating with other people to help distribute our products.
Where are you based?
I'm in Ghana.
There is a gentleman on this call named Tehran Elvis, and he assisted the founder of a grocery store chain here in the United States called Mom's Organic Market. And they would be they're about $1 billion company. They would be delighted to import your tea from Ghana. I don't know if Tehran's still on the call, but he is somebody you should connect with.
Okay, sure. So
Thank you, Eric. I am still on the call. I'm listening.
Yeah, I'll leave my information in the chat, and or if we could exchange contacts, I'll be grateful.
I'll send a direct message, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Great. So this is what we do at Global Chamber. I mean, connecting people globally so we can all support each other to do business. We are about to get to the top of the hour. We do have our CEO in the audience. Doc, would you want to say a few words and close us?
Sure, Ruby. This has been amazing. You know, this is a great combination of a fun topic, which is food. We do virtual dining, and this I thought was a great combination that introduced some really outstanding trade topics. And the speakers were awesome, you know, especially around talking about the opportunities in Ghana. I remember, Ruby, about a year or two ago, certainly a year ago, you were mentioning about the Ghana economy. And even though it's not as stellar as it has been historically, it's still stronger than it was. Is that what you would see right now? And is that your perspective?
Yes, absolutely. We do have a new government in place who is resetting the country. And so we are very hopeful that things will turn around for the good for everyone.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. We really appreciate your refreshing your executive director role with Ghana. You've got a new deputy director for our chapter there. Komi Klu, of course, is the board chair, and he's doing an amazing job as always. So it's never been as important as right now to do trade. And I am so optimistic, not just about Ghana, but for Africa. AFCFTA is paving the way for the next decades for Africa to really rise. And so, Ruby, thank you for doing your part on that.
Thank you, Doug. On this note, I really want to introduce my colleague, Deputy Director for Accra, Ghana. Sharon, are you there? Say hi to the audience. Sharon, are you there to say hello?
Yes, hello everyone. Very interesting and insightful discussion this afternoon. Nice meeting you all, and I'm the new deputy for Ghana chapter.
Thank you, Sharon. So in the chat, we've actually put a GIPC newsletter for those of you who want to have more background reading of the opportunities and what is going on in Ghana. There's a link in the chat. Please copy it and enjoy reading. For our chapter, we meet every last Tuesday of the month. So please watch out for our next section in April. It's going to be how you can actually export your product to the US market, so you get a better understanding of the custom requirements, etc. So please watch this space for full details, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon. You all have a good day and the rest of the week. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll play one of the Ghana High Life music so we can dance it out. Jem, if you can put the song up as people leave the room, please. Thank you all.
Won't you